Hi, my name is Mark. So when we think of pro guitar players, we usually think about guys who don't make mistakes, right? Guthrie Govan, John Petrucci, Steve Vai, all those guys, right? But in my opinion, perhaps the pro guitar players aren't necessarily the ones who don't make mistakes, but perhaps the ones who can work around their mistakes. For instance, I'm a big Eric Johnson fan. And Eric Johnson is kind of what we ceremonially call a beast. And if you're anything like me and you wander around on YouTube looking for Eric Johnson content, you may have seen this thumbnail for this Cliffs of Dover live version where he's playing an SG. And if you're any way into Eric Johnson, you kinda know that he's kind of synonymous with his Strat. And I knew he had played an SG. But of course I went on and clicked the video. And honestly I was just expecting a regular Cliffs of Dover video. But it's in that live version that I found the best guitar save ever. And what do I mean by guitar save? Well, you know when you're soloing and you kinda hit a wrong note, or even maybe when you don't really necessarily hit that specific note you want to, or even with chords, not just soloing, and then you slightly bend it so it gets in key, or maybe you play a wrong note but then you slide to the one above, kind of that jazzy style. Well, when you can successfully work that out so that it doesn't necessarily sound like a mistake, that's a guitar save. Not only do I think so, but also the guys in the comment section of that video think that's probably the best guitar save ever. And I think we can learn a little bit from that. But before we do, I just want to say, please subscribe to my channel. You're probably aware that YouTube's been acting a little bit weird lately. Even if you subscribe to a channel, those channel's videos may really not show up in our subscription box. And even if you ring the little notification bell thingy below, you still really may not be notified of that channel's content. So if you want to stay tuned to my content and or the content of your favorite creators, you really should subscribe and turn on all the notifications. And since that may or may not work, I highly suggest you follow me on social media. Not only do I post some exclusive stuff there, like improvised solos and jamming over backing tracks, and generally whatever I'm up to at the moment, but I always post there about my videos. Links for the usual suspects like Instagram, Facebook and Twitter, even though I don't really post much on Twitter, will be below. But in general, at Mark Henriques Guitar. And while you're down there, please consider leaving a like, and perhaps check out some of my other videos after this one. Perhaps you'd like to check out Guthrie Govan vs John Petrucci. Should you even practice guitar? Or even maybe how kind of to refresh or revamp your old licks? And lastly but not leastly, why your modes don't really sound like modes. All those videos will be in the description below, on the card section right there, and on the annotations of the on screen. So please, stay tuned. And I guess now we can get straight into it. Okay, so getting to this best save ever, since we're thinking about Cliffs of Dover and Eric Johnson, we would probably assume that if somebody would do a mistake, it would probably be on some of those more crazy pentatonic shredderies, right? But where he kinda makes a mistake is in one of those easier parts. And before we get to this guitar save, you'll probably be thinking, well, why do you think Eric Johnson made a mistake? Maybe that was on purpose. And of course I can't necessarily speak for Eric Johnson. Perhaps he actually meant to play that. And if I could, I would play the video right now so that you guys could hear what I'm talking about. But the reason I think it's a mistake is because it doesn't necessarily fall in the correct way. And I'll talk more about it after I play it and after I explain it for a little bit. If you know the song, in the beginning of the main verses, you kinda have this part where it goes from G to C, where it goes. Well, this time he kind of lands on the wrong note. I think he may have missed the slide, or perhaps he tried to do a bend and it wasn't quite enough. Instead of going, it kinda sounds like, you know, like he kinda missed the bend. And that against a G major chord doesn't really sound good. So because Eric is a pro, he immediately thought, okay, I kinda messed that note up, but I'll do this kind of slide guitar-ish lick. If you're not really into slide guitar licks, where you try to kinda mimic a slide guitar player, kind of consists of bending many notes from a fret below and sliding into a lot of notes from below. If you take the lick like, it sounds cool, but if you kinda slide into those notes from a fret below or you pre-bend them, they kind of sound a little bit more slide guitar-ish. And that's where I kinda think Eric was going with that mistake. Since he missed that note, he just worked around that mistake, since we're going from G to C, kind of keeping in this G major, or even maybe G7. I'll try to make it sound as close as I can, because I can't really play the video, they'll probably take it down. But again, I'll leave a link for the live footage right in the description below. He kinda plays this. So again, if I play it a little bit slower, and I'll kind of give you some tips on it. The first part, as I showed you before, is pretty much a bar on the 12th fret. And then you go to the 14th fret and you kind of do this quarter step bend. If I was playing this lick and I wasn't trying to mimic a mistake, I'd probably do the full half step bend. But even though Eric did it as a mistake and then kind of corrected it, those kind of out of tune quarter step inflections are what give it that kind of slideish guitar vocal vibe. And then this time you do another quarter to half a step bend from the 11th fret. And then you land on that G note on the 12th fret of the G string. And then you do this chromatic descent from D to C. So I'll play it again a little slower and then faster. And you may be thinking, okay, this is cool and all, but why are we talking about this? To be completely honest, if you look at this sort of stuff, and if you try to apply it to your own playing, for instance, if you try to think of a blues like you do like... And next time you're playing a blues, instead of playing... You kind of play... Even though playing it like this, you'll probably not hear it as a mistake. Instead of being, oh my god, I made a mistake, you can sort of do what Eric did and kind of bend it some way around, so you kind of give it this kind of vocal inflection vibe. And it doesn't necessarily need to be with a blues lick. Let's say that you're playing a more rockier lick, like... Let's say that you missed this little 8th to 10th fret. And you played a half step below, like if you slightly got distracted or something. Well, you can always work that around. You can still end up on that little A note, kind of like... Just try to work out these possible scenarios and ultimately hear what sounds good to you. Because I'm pretty sure that when Eric made that mistake, he wasn't really consciously thinking, okay, now I need to play a slide guitar lick to make it up. He was probably thinking, okay, I kind of missed a note, and then when he heard that missed note, he probably thought of a slide guitar player. In your case, if you kind of missed a note, you may have not remembered a slide guitar part, but that little Guthrie Govan thing of kind of going bench from bench. Who knows, right? So giving a purpose to this lesson and kind of give a meaning to whatever I've been rambling about is the next time you make a mistake, whether you're playing on your own or in front of a bunch of people, don't freak out and don't really shut down because you made a mistake. Try to work around it. And even if you miss a good opportunity or you kind of miss the worst note possible, don't worry. Even if you're playing 4 chords all night and you mess up a really important note, nobody's really going to care that much. And before we get to the outro, I thought this was a really great guitar save. If you know of any other guitar saves, leave them in the comment section below. Thank you so very much for watching. I hope this video was helpful to you in any way possible, and if it was, please leave me a comment below. Do you have anything to add to this discussion? Did you agree? Did you not agree? Was there something I missed? Something I should have said? And also, if you have any suggestions for videos, I have this dedicated series called Yate, You Ask, I Teach, whereas the name implies I pretty much teach everything you ask me in the comment section below. Guitar and music related, of course. So yeah, if there's anything you want me to talk about, leave it in the comment section below with the hashtag Yate. And as always, I'm giving away free one-on-one Skype lessons. And anyone can enter, but they are limited though, so you gotta be fast. All you have to do to win one free Skype lesson and discounts on future lessons is to subscribe to my channel, turn on all the notifications, follow me on Instagram, and then DM me on Instagram or one of my other social medias. And yeah, I guess that's it. Again, thank you so very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn on all the notifications, follow me on social media, perhaps apply for those Skype lesson thingies. Don't forget to leave a comment for my hashtag Yates series. Don't forget to check out some of my other videos after this one. Again, I chose some that will be in the card section right there. Will be in the annotations of the end screen just a couple of seconds, so please stay tuned and probably in the description below. And yeah, cheers!